Easter is a time of daffodils, hot crust buns, spring lambs, and chocolate eggs. And we all remember how the Easter lamb laid a chocolate egg that was hidden in a tomb and then stolen. But then, what happened then?
None of that happened. None of it. Except in your head.
So what's Easter all about then?
I'm glad you asked. Easter is the story of how Jesus lives.
I thought Jesus died.
Yeah, he did, but now he lives. And if you only remember one thing about this story, which seems optimistic, remember that Jesus lives. We're going to see what really happened. The story's in all four Gospels.
Oh, I know these. Matthew, John, Paul, and Ringo, Frodo, Hermione.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But we're going to follow Luke's account. So we're in Jerusalem, a city on the edge of the Roman Empire, and lots of people aren't very happy about that. It's about 36 AD, just about tea time, which is also known as the Last Supper.
I feared the worst. When 13 blokes book the party room, it's normally pretty grim in there afterwards, especially when they order wine. Although, apparently, this Jesus, he can make his own. Loads of it. And bread. Don't ask me how. My husband, Isaac, can barely make a pita when he has all the ingredients. Oh, can you take this back to the kitchen? Thank you. Anyway, it was a very quiet evening in the end. I was not listening at the door. This one's a bit too thick. But it didn't sound like much of a party, which is weird. I mean, it's Passover. I know, it's all about the wine these days, but it is meant to be a celebration, isn't it? My mum used to tell me the Passover story about how our people were slaves in Egypt, but God rescued us and brought us out into the desert where he fed us the bread which would be lying on the ground every morning. Imagine that. So if you're stuck somewhere you don't want to be, forced to be indoors when there's a plague passing over, remember, there is always hope. I had hope for Jesus. Or did. I thought he'd rescue us from the Romans. Oh, can you take that to number 2, please? Thank you. I thought this Jesus would rescue us from the Romans, but he's got a funny way of going about it. While I was clearing some plates at the end, Jesus took the bread and the wine, and he said to eat and drink these in remembrance of him, as if he was going to die. Isn't he a miracle worker who can raise people from the dead? I don't know what his game is. Anyway, we need to get this room cleared. Come on. Right, wipe the tables. We've got a dozen tax collectors coming in the morning for some sort of business breakfast. Let's go.
So when Jesus left the upper room, he went into a garden and met the Easter Bunny.
No, Luke does not say that.
They did an Easter egg hunt.
No, Jesus was arrested by people from the temple and a mob with swords and clubs.
But why? Jesus went around healing people and being generally kind and brilliant.
Well, they were really angry that Jesus was claiming to be God, and they wanted to have him executed, but they needed the Romans for that.
Ugh, that's awful.
So they took him to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. He couldn't find anything wrong with Jesus and said he could be released.
Yay!
Yeah, but Jesus' enemies whipped up the crowd and they demanded that Pilate crucify Jesus and release a man called Barabbas instead.
Whoa, lucky old Barabbas.
I've really done it this time. Led a rebellion against the Romans. They murdered 2 people. And any day now, they're coming to kill me. Leave me out and crucify me. Tried everything. Bribing the guard. Threatening the witnesses. Blackmailing the judge. None of it worked. Not even the jailbreak. Here's a tip. If you're going to hide a big metal file in a loaf of bread, make sure it's the baguette. It's the right shape. My sister tried to hide it in some stupid buns. You can imagine how that went. And the guard, he ate the buns. Those were my
Oi! Shut up!
Do I get a final meal? A last request?
No!
There's no rescue for me. Not a chance.
Who about this? Pilate's changed his mind. This bloke, Jesus, is going to die. You're going to live. You're free to go.
What? Jesus died. And I live. Who'd have thought it? Someone as rotten as me gets to go free.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair to me, but that's the way it is.
Didn't I say when I was locked in here, there's always hope?
No, you said, please don't lock me up, here's 50 denarii, treat yourself.
I may have said that. Well, it's a beautiful day. Let's go.
Barabbas must have been one happy bunny.
Please stop talking about bunnies. We need to talk about what happened to Jesus next. He was taken to a place called the Skull.
The skull? Ugh, what happened there?
Well, put it this way, it's not an ice cream parlour.
Imagine an ice cream parlour called the Skull. 0 customers.
This is the place where Jesus was executed. He was nailed to a big wooden cross and left to die with 2 other criminals.
I cannot wait to hear how Jesus got out of this one.
Well, he didn't. Jesus died.
Oh. But... Oh.
There was a centurion there to make sure it was all done properly.
It's not a very nice job to have.
Well, that was the weirdest day at work ever. Normally there's 2 types, the mumblers and the screamers. The screamers have given up hope because, let's face it, there's no hope on a cross. But the screamers, they're in denial, shouting and yelling at everyone and everything. We had a screamer today, yelling at me and this Jesus bloke. I've no idea why he was being crucified. He doesn't seem the type. He was a mumbler. You know what he said up there on the cross? Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Well, I know what I'm doing. My job. But it was a pretty weird thing to say. Anyway, this screamer criminal goes nuts and screams, "Aren't you supposed to be the true king from God? Save yourself and us while you're at it." Then this other criminal jumps in. Not literally, obviously, because he's not a screamer. He's a dreamer. He says, "Don't you fear God? We're getting what we deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong." And then, I'll never forget this. He says to Jesus, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." Cream on, dreamer. Jesus is on the cross. No hope. But then he says this to the dreamer. "Today, you'll be with me in paradise." What's that all about? Jesus can't help anyone from where he is. And then he dies. So that's the end of that. Weirdest day at work ever. Reminds me of one of my dad's stories from 30 years ago when he was in Bethlehem. Anyway, dinner time. I'm famished, but nothing but a crust of bread this morning. Let's go have a look.
What a sad story. Anyway, happy Easter, everyone.
That's It's not the end. There's a serious twist you do not want to miss.
There is a bunny after all.
No, there's no bunny in this story. If you like bunnies so much, go watch Watership Down. Actually, no, if you like bunnies, do not watch Watership Down. I cannot stress that enough. Anyway, back to our story in Luke's Gospel. A man called Joseph of Arimathea took Jesus' body down and laid it in a tomb.
Right. This doesn't seem like an improvement. There's more death.
Just you wait.
Sorry, so tired. Running to Jerusalem because
We just saw him. Jesus lives. It was really him. And
let's back up. We were on the road to Emmaus talking about what had happened. We met this guy who asked us what we were chatting about, and we were like, duh, we're talking about Jesus. Where have you been?
turns out it was Jesus.
Don't spoil it.
Sorry.
That's the best bit. So we started telling this guy about how Jesus did all these amazing things and how we'd hoped that he was going to rescue us from the Romans. But the temple priest killed him on Friday. Then Sunday morning, some of the women went to the tomb.
And he was gone. Jesus was gone.
Unbelievable. Anyway, where'd he gone? We were so sad and confused.
And this dude, he met us on the road, and he explained how the whole thing has been in the Bible all along. It's been planned by God, and it's all there, all the way through the Bible, from the very beginning.
And he told us how it's not rescue from the Romans that we need, but rescue from sin and death, and how we can be with God forever.
Hearts on fire, minds blowing, mic drop.
So we stopped off for a bit with this guy for a bite to eat, and the moment he broke bread, we realised it was actually Jesus.
There he was, alive!
All our hopes and dreams were eating bread with us, and then...
Boom! Gone. He just disappeared. Can you believe it?
Amazing. Can you believe him?
Sorry, it's such a brilliant story, and it means Jesus is alive. There is hope. He can rescue us after all. So we're running back to Jerusalem to tell the others. Come on.
So this means Jesus is alive now?
Yeah, unlike the Easter Bunny.
Wait, someone killed the Easter Bunny?
No, the Easter Bunny was never... We will talk about it later. The story about Jesus is written in Luke's Gospel, a history of Jesus' life and death and life again, and you can read it for yourself.
I might just do that with some chocolate.
It's a really good idea. Can you send me some over?
No. Oh, okay then. Let's go and find some. And we should watch that movie. What's it called? Watership Down?
No, not Watership Down. Oh,